Hey guys, I'm just doing a mass recording today. So today we're going to talk about your blade isn't good yet. So that's what we're going to get into. Sorry, I look the same as your last video, but the way I do these is I just kind of record a few and then I just post them, set them to post over the next few days so you guys have content coming from the channel, as frequently as possible. So what I really want to get into, and we see this a lot in trading card games and the video game side, which is kind of how I relate Beyblade as a hobby, more often. Because in other hobbies or sports or something like that, once something is outdated, it's outdated. Like there's really, you're not going to see a resurgence of something. If we look at RC cars, if you were to take an RC car from, the 80s, it's not going to be as fast or as reliable or as responsive as an RC car that was released this year. If we look at video games, the systems are outdated, which I may start doing some retro handheld. Love handhelds, even though I have an arcade cabinet in the back and a driving simulator. I love handheld gaming. So if you guys want to see handheld gaming, let me know. It's something I've been thinking about adding to the channel. I literally have a display of retro handhelds up there. So if you guys want to see that, I've got a lot of customs. I've got a lot of stuff like that. So if you want to see retro handhelds, or something you're into or looking at getting into, let me know and I'll start posting those. But what I really want to get into is, when you look at a handheld, while I do have, my original Game Boy Color, it's not as that is actually maybe a perfect tie-in is my Game Boy Color, the way it came, in the late 90s versus how it sits today. And today I have a custom, an OLED screen. I've got new buttons, I've got new membranes, I've got new speakers, I've got new batteries, obviously I have new batteries, but I have lithium ion batteries. I've got a game cartridge that holds tons of stuff, but it's all built on the stock, hardware. Well, stock circuit board. So I've definitely customized my Game Boy Color, but it's not my favorite way of playing the game. With video games, while I may still love some old classic retro games, which I definitely do, I want a newer way to play it. So that system is outdated. It's more of a nostalgia piece. Same as RC cars. It may be nostalgia, but that Game Boy Color is not gonna compete with, the new stuff that I've got going with the Switch, right? My Switch I play pretty much handheld all the time. I've got a few retro handhelds from Ambernick and from Mew Mini. I have the Mew Mini Plus that I love. I play that more than I play the Game Boy Color, more than the Game Boy Advance, more than the 3DS, more than the DS. It's just newer hardware. But with Beyblade, it's more like a trading card game or a video game in the retrospect of like that lifetime of the video game. So first we'll cover like a trading card game, right? Because that's going to be the most universally accepted one here. So Yu-Gi-Oh has a non-rotating meta or a non-rotating standard game. So you can play a card from any point, right? At any point in Yu-Gi-Oh's lifespan. Also, Magic the Gathering Commander does the exact same thing, where if a card was made, at Magic's inception, you can still play it, as long as it doesn't go on a ban list, right? But if you're just playing with friends, legally, any card you could play. So while the card came out maybe 2000, at the time there was nothing really to break that card. But over time, other cards came out that went off the wording of that card. Now that card is viable again. Now that card is special again. Same thing with video games, fighting game. You guys know I love fighting games. So, while a character may be no good at the beginning, when it first comes out, over the series of patches and new, in the old arcade lifeline as new iterations of that game were to come out, or patches in modern games. Now the character has been buffed in a certain way to where maybe now I'll play him because, or other characters were nerfed because now that character is more viable, or plays this map better, or goes against this nerfed character better. So it's all in a lifeline, right? And the way that relates to Beyblade, I just got my Sphinx crest in. You guys saw the photo in the community. I don't post reviews videos because there are tons of review videos. But I just got Sphinx crest in. Or not Sphinx crest. Well, that's what he is now. But I just got my Leon crest in. And while I played with it, tried to practice with it, see how great I really like that blade, I didn't like the blade so much. There was a lot of metal to plastic contact because that bottom of that blade is plastic. Had they coated it in metal, maybe a different, scenario for me. But the fact that it's metal on plastic because it sits up so high. So what I did was I actually took the ratchet from Sphinx crest, took it from Leon crest and put it on Sphinx cowl. Now it's a Sphinx crest, right? So I took the 760, put it on Sphinx cowl. I'm still running high taper, but I feel like I could definitely change that around if I wanted to, but I'm just so used to the movements. And I ended up liking Sphinx cowl more on a 760 than on the 960 because of the shape of the ratchet matched the shape of the blade. The weight distribution was correct. All right. Yeah, I know it's 7 and I think Sphinx is like an 8 point, but it's very different. It plays different and it's centered the weight, and now it's a more rounded ratchet. So when we look at these things, you may have a blade that you absolutely love, right? And I know Alamella enjoys Unicorn Sting. And Keel Shark Edge, whatever you want to call it, it has always been good, right? You throw aggressive stuff on it, it's an aggressive type attack blade, it's always going to be good. But, what really got me thinking about this was when Cobalt Dragoon was coming out with a 260, where the 2 was actually not as good spinning left as it was spinning right because of the angle, right? And I'll try to put a picture up here of the 260 blade from Cobalt Dragoon. Actually, if it's spinning the way that it came left, there's actually a little wall there to where it makes it more prone to burst. But if you put it on a right spin, it's actually got a smooth edge, like a gradual incline there. So you throw it on, Shark Edge, and it's actually lining up. It's gonna spin, and it's putting the weight distribution at those 2 attack points from that ratchet. Now, I don't think the 260 ratchet is very heavy, and not a lot of people are getting great results out of it. I put it on Dronzer, which also Dronzer has 2 main attack points, and it lines up with those. And I just run it on my illegal Dronzer. But, what I'm getting at here is just because a blade is not good today doesn't mean that the parts to make it better are not on the way. They may happen by accident. I highly doubt that in the discussions for building Leon Crest, they're like, you know what, this would actually be really good on these other old blades. Just like in trading card games, they're not like, oh, 20 years later, I'm going to print this card that makes this 20-year-old card viable again in a format that we only started supporting a few years ago. So just look at that. If you have a blade you like, don't throw it out with the dirty, don't throw the baby out with the dirty water. Don't do that, right? Keep it, watch for other products that you may enjoy, watch for other things that are coming down the pipeline that are piquing your interest, and play a mad scientist. Put parts on parts that aren't supposed to go there. Play around. That's what the whole thing is, right? That's why they give us parts that we can switch around. But just because a blade is not viable today, don't write it off in the future. Because you never know what's going to come back or what's actually going to be good. The only reason that I bring this up is my son loves his Phoenix Wing, and now he's got more blades, which he's trying to find a new main. And because of this topic, he could always, I beat him with Sphinx Cowl every now and then, but now I'm running 7-0 with Sphinx Cowl on 760. So just remember that it's not always a bad idea to keep them or to look at them again later. Just because they're no good today doesn't mean they're not going to be any good tomorrow. With all of the releases we have coming out, there's limitless possibilities for what we can and can't do with Beyblade. Just based, if they stop making parts right now, I feel like we have a ton of parts we could use. Do I want them to stop? No. But we have so many parts that we can mix and match and try out new combinations. It's almost limitless as far as strategies go with combinations. Now, combinations are only one part of it. You have to have the strategy to back up the combo that you have. So, or else it does turn into a luck game. So, hey guys, remember, if we want people to take Beyblade seriously, we have to take it seriously. And I just want you to really look at, hey, I like this blade. Let me put this in my pocket for now. Let me watch what's coming down the pipeline. So I would challenge you guys, take the worst Beyblade that you can think of in the BX line. Let's not talk about crossovers, okay? Because you go that way, we have illegal parts that you can get from Chimera. So definitely check out Chimera. He's a sponsor of the channel. Check out Chimera. Once he gets stuff in stock, it goes pretty fast. But he makes Dronzer competitively viable. It's just illegal. So leave a comment down below which blade you think may come back, may make a resurgence later based on parts that are coming out or parts that you would like to see come out to make certain blades viable. So, hey guys, I hope everybody has a great day.